this is going to be a very different video today, where instead of talking about music, I'm going to be highlighting the best videos from my favorite content creators on YouTube from 2018. When I say content creators, I will specifically be focusing on the music folk that also are part of this wider community that have been very influential to me, honestly. Been part of a big music server for the most part of this year, thanks to Josh the blogger, and it's been great. Like, we just talk music all the time, we get recommendations from each other constantly. There are so many albums I've discovered because of so many great music people who are just incredibly passionate, and I can't go this year without highlighting the great people that have made talking about music so fun. This isn't going to be like a ranked list or anything. I feel like that would be a bit weird, like, oh yeah, you're number 10 but you're number 5. I just couldn't do that. So instead I'm just going to be listing off great videos from great people, and if you aren't subscribed to these people, I do recommend you go check them out. I'll put all their channels in the description. And yeah, this is just going to be a very wholesome video. And speaking of wholesome, I'm going to start off with the most wholesome Scottish man you'll ever know, Liam the Music Reviewer. Earlier this year, he put out, I think, his best video to date with the mental health video he made. 5 important songs about mental health. Now, when I initially discovered Liam and started watching his content, he was a bit stuttery, you know, trembled over his words a little bit. But man, his confidence has grown so much over time. It's been great to see him like develop such a great confidence and speak about music in such a good way. And this video is proof of that. Like, he just carefully speaks about this very important topic and words himself so eloquently throughout the whole video. Quite a difficult thing to talk about, man, but Liam nailed it from start to finish, talking about songs that are important to him, but not only that, but important to the topic of mental health, and I just think it was such a great video to do. The best part about the video though was some of the tracks he talked about I just didn't really feel a personal connection to, but I felt like I was connected to them just by the way he was talking about them. He really went into great depth and giving such good reasons as to why these songs were so important. Of course, Injury Reserve and Kendrick Lamar were on the list, but you know, Biffy Clyro and Frightened Rabbit, 2 bands I've never really felt all that connected to, and he made the case. He really showed how important these songs were and described how lyrically hard-hitting they were in such a way that I found so interesting. And yes, today this is definitely his best video. Also, a shout out to that Manchester review that he did. That was funny as fuck, man. Jesus Christ. My next pick is gonna be from Amy from the Sound Binge. Unfortunately, Amy had to quit doing videos pretty recently. It was sad to see that she was unable to carry on doing videos because of like the workload that's being thrown onto her, and she also wants to concentrate on doing art herself, which is absolutely fine, and it's great to see that she has other passions that she wants to focus on as well. Her content was so good that I just kind of miss not seeing any uploads from her every week, I must admit. But one of the videos that stuck with me, I think, throughout the year was the Bjork video she did. I thought this video was so good. I remember not too long ago, actually, she was saying that she wasn't all that happy with the way this video turned out, but I thought this video was incredible. Like, the way she was talking about Vespertine and how it's impacted her and how she just absolutely loves every element about it. And not only that, but she added in this new element that I personally have never seen a YouTuber do before, where she painted a piece of art that captured her feelings and emotions and everything tied around the album. Like what? I don't think anyone out there would ever think of an idea like that, and I just thought it was pretty damn genius, to be honest, to paint a piece of art based around an album. Yeah, I thought it was such a great video. A concept I truly appreciate, and in execution it worked out really well too. So yeah, it's a shame. I do hope she will be coming back one day, but you know, it's fine, it's fine. I'll just be upset on my own. Next, I want to give a mention to someone else that doesn't make videos anymore. Deep Cuts. Deep Cuts has been a huge part of the music reviewing world on YouTube. He's gained a lot of traction over the past year. building such a good following and making such descriptive and detailed videos that honestly picking one video, just like all the people I'm mentioning in this video by the way, picking one is pretty difficult. But I will say that my favourite of his for this year was definitely the Burial Essentials video. Mostly because I would say that album is like a flawless album for me, one of my, you know, 10 out of 10s if you will. I just think it's such a fantastic piece of music and progressive for electronic music in the 2000s as well. Now with Deep Cuts, he's always making these great guide videos, but they're all quite lengthy that I honestly don't always get time to sit through them all, because some of them, you know, touch like an hour in length or just under an hour in length. So the Essentials videos have always been something I've gravitated towards, because he just spends like 10 minutes detailing why these albums are so fantastic to him. And this one, along with the Death Consciousness one, were both two videos I thought were pretty damn amazing for 2018. And yeah, I just wanted to highlight how, you know, influential I believe Deep Cuts has been on me as a critic as well. Next, I want to give a mention to David Rowe. I'm actually glad I waited till today to review this, because as of recording right now, it was just yesterday he dropped the video I'm going to be talking about. And that is his 25 worst songs of the year. The introduction to this video absolutely floored me, man. Starting the video off with that backflip that he fails and then starts dancing for like a minute and a half or something. Oh man, that was so good. But the entirety of the video was just so entertaining, listening to him detail why these songs were so bad throughout the course of 2018. I mean, he just nailed every song, the way he talks about him. He goes into such depth. He's just one of the more entertaining people that do these kind of videos, because I've seen a good number of worst songs of the year videos, and they're really quite cringy and filled with terrible skits. David just keeps it real, man. He just talks the shit, talks why these songs, should I say, are so bad. And yeah, he's just very entertaining to watch. I do have to shout out though his video where he reviewed like 30 albums across the span of an hour or something, but every album was in a different location. That was such a good video, man. The amount of effort that went into that video, man, it is inspiring, because I just don't go to those kind of lengths to make my videos, and it's just such an inspiration to see other people just work so hard on their videos, making them so entertaining as well. Also his Die Lit video I want to give a quick mention to as well, because he just spent like half an hour talking about how good Die Lit was to him, and I just don't think anyone else out there, to my knowledge, just went in that much depth as to why an album like Die Lit, of all albums, was so important to him, and it was just such a great watch. And for my next pick, I want to give you a nice insight to how Die Lit has impacted so many people, because this is the opposite end of the music opinions on Die Lit with Eric the Young God's review of that album. This guy is so funny, he cracks me up with every video he does, and this was one of the highlights for me in his videos, because it was so funny the way he just absolutely shits all over this album. There are so many funny jokes in this video. Like I said, I just think Die Lit is a great indicator of what music opinion can be like in 2018, because you got one end where someone spends like half an hour telling you how much they love it. The other end, you've got someone making a hilarious video as to why it's like the worst album of the year. It's so good. Next, I want to give a quick mention to the Vinyl Geek or Vinyl Rewind. As you guys know, I wasn't huge on the Kids See Ghosts album that came out this year, but he did such a great video on that album. Like, he almost convinced me that it was a great album of the year contender with the way he talked about it, to be honest. Obviously I still don't really love the album myself, but I just really love it when I can watch a video on an album where I don't like it too much, but the person talking about it does such a good job at convincing you that it's a good album, and this is one of those great examples of that. So yeah, this was a good one. Next, I want to talk about Rick the Lie. Rick the Lie, again, is one of those content creators where I could literally just pick any video that he's put out throughout the course of the year, and it would be easily one of my favorites, because everything he puts out is so good. Obviously I just need to stick to one, and I think I'm going to stick with his underrated, overlooked albums of the year video that he did. He just highlights so many albums that most music critics out there just wouldn't even give the time of day to. I mean, even though a lot of music critics that are on YouTube do review like independent and very obscure music, but I just don't think anyone is at the level of Rick, to be honest, when it comes to that kind of thing. And he just highlighted so many albums on that list that, you know, absolutely deserve their attention, like Ichigo Aoba, Henri Osborne, Nino de Elche, but still just the fact that he just spends so much time focusing on that lesser known type music, I really admire, to be honest. Obviously, again, he's not the only guy out there to do independent, obscure music, but I definitely think he's the best at doing it, to be honest. So big shout out to Rick, honestly. He's shown me so many great albums this past year that I've absolutely adored because of him. Next, I want to give a mention to Brett Kane, or The Noise Pond. I feel like he gets a bit overlooked at times, but honestly, he's a really good reviewer, and I want to mention his Parquet Courts review because he was just so passionate in that review, man. I think he slapped a 9 out of 10 on that album, very well deserved 9 out of 10, and yeah, he just really went in and seemed really happy when talking about the album. It was really nice to watch. Next, I want to mention MicTheSnare. I think he's been such a little gem that I've discovered this year because his videos are just so funny. The little, I guess, heelized music type approach that he takes to a lot of his reviews is really entertaining. But I want to mention his how songs become memes, or how like memes come around video, because as much as like no one really needs to explain what a meme is, the fact that he did it in such an entertaining and descriptive way was really quite fascinating to watch and listen to him explain where memes come about. Like it was a really insightful video. Next, I want to mention The Social Tune. Again, this was another video that came out pretty recently, where he did the top 10 worst pop songs of the year, and man, he absolutely annihilated these songs in this video. It was unbelievable. He was just fucking ferocious in this video, man. When he like is yelling at the camera, like getting angry about why songs are so bad, he is really at his best. It's so good to watch. Next, I want to mention Buffalo Staple, my boy Buffalo Staple. Again, this is one of those cases where I could easily name like 20 videos that this guy makes that are just so entertaining to watch. I love how he bridges the gap between like comedy and also being a really good critic as well, who can describe music in such a great way. It's really refreshing to watch, honestly. But surprisingly, I think I'm gonna pick one of his more serious videos, because although I could easily pick that video where he did like the Russ review, which was just so funny to watch, as well as the Logic one as well, and his inclusion of the character that he's created, Ichabod, like they are so funny to watch. But I think for me, I want to mention actually his Avondale Bowling Club review, which I am going to pick for my favourite of his. Mostly because this album came out back whenever it did, and I gave it a few listens at the time. Didn't really care for it that much, but then about a month later he reviewed it, and he just convinced me that I need to go back to listen to this album, and of course I did. And I kept going back to it, and eventually I just came up with a review and decided that actually it's one of the best albums of the year, and that's really due to Buffalo Staple himself. So yeah, huge influence on me this year. Also, I think his B-Tech playlists are so good as well. They are so entertaining to watch, and he picks out so many great songs to throw in his monthly playlists. I think it's also a really unique idea to do as well, so shout out to Buffalo Staple for that. Next, I want to mention Luke James. Luke James is a great hip-hop critic, and his Saba review was pretty damn fantastic from this year. He's a great reviewer for all his videos anyway, that goes without saying. But I think his Saba review stuck with me the most because it was really good to see someone else review the album in such a positive way, because honestly, as much as it's getting a lot of praise this year, I do feel like a lot of hip-hop heads have kind of ignored it a little bit maybe, but he did a great review for the album. Next, I want to mention Radical Douche. This video, man, it cracked me up so much. It's his ranked episode of the Billboard Hot 100's like top 20 summer songs, and this is so funny. Like, once again, it's just one of those videos that inspires me to be a better, more, you know, I guess, creative content creator, because the entirety of the video is just in front of a mirror, and he's got the camera like focusing on the mirror, and you could just see him in the, it's just, what the hell. And the way he starts off as well, he's like, "Oh, you think I didn't know the camera was on?" It's just the funniest thing, man. Once again, just inspirational to me to improve myself and be more entertaining. Just so many great people out there, man. Holy shit. And I guess with my last mention, I really should bring up Anthony Fantano, the man who is at the top of the pyramid right now and has had a massive influence on everyone who has done music reviews. Because he's just such a good critic. But there isn't a specific video I want to bring up, but it's more so the series he's doing with the Let's Argue series, which I think is, again, just such a fresh idea for music discussion that I'm really in awe of the way he does it, the way he includes, you know, his fans and people who love music, who have opinions. I think it's just such a good idea. And also the fact that he's so consistently uploading them every Monday. It gets to Monday and I'm genuinely excited for the upload. It's kind of like, you know, my version of TV, I suppose, where like, you know, you're excited for the next episode of a TV show to air at like 9 o'clock Sunday night or whatever. It's just kind of like the new thing for me. It's really cool. And I suppose my final special thanks is to Josh the Blogger for creating that great music Discord server. I mean, seriously, man, this has honestly impacted my ear so much, discovering so many great artists and so much great music to find because of, you know, sites like Rate Music and just talking to other music lovers. It's been awesome, and it's just inspired me to be a better music reviewer, and hopefully I continue this down the road and things keep going well, I guess. So much fun to do, made so many great friends through that Discord server, so yeah, Josh, you're good, man. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some good content creators that I may have mentioned that you don't know of. I'll link them all in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews and lists. Lists season is upon us. Let me know your favorite people in this little community, I guess you could call it, and have a good day.